Okay, we are live. All right, finally. Guys, I'm so sorry. Welcome to On Stage. We had some technical difficulties. I thought it was going to be super easy to just go on. Getting used to this camera. I thought it was going to be easy to go on through Facebook, but Facebook is not liking me right now. So I'm sorry. Thank you for finally getting on. We're a little bit like 13 minutes late, but we're good. Everything good on your end?
Everything's incredible.
Alrighty, so obviously this is our special guest that we have today. We have Christopher Chin. I'm so happy to have you on. I think that a lot of people obviously know you, but for those of you who don't know who Chris is, he's amazing. He's been dominating the game. He's a good friend of mine. Let me just kind of get this figured out. Okay. All right, good. So before we dive in, we do a thing here. We do shoe cam, right? So if I was out and about today, right, this would be my choice of shoe. Ladies, do we love? This would be my choice of shoe. So this is my shoe cam for the day. Chris, show us what your shoe cam is. What are you rocking today? Several. Okay.
Let me see if I can move my camera a little. Oh, sorry. One second.
All right. All good.
Am I still there?
You're
Here
still.
you go.
Yes.
You could pick.
All right. So several shoes. Okay. I like sneakerhead. Love, love, love. Awesome. So yeah, we like to. That's a little from Lindsay Williams. So okay. So let me get situated. Sorry, guys. All right. So Chris, introduce yourself to those of you who don't know who you are. I think everybody, you're your best introduction to yourself.
Sure. My name is Christopher Chin. I'm a licensed realtor with Nest Seekers International. I'm the team leader and owner of the brand Unlock & J Homes and Unlock & J Homes team. I'm originally from New York City, moved to Springfield, New Jersey when I was very, very young. Kind of lived in both atmospheres pretty much my entire life. So I'm a little bit of a suburban bred and also very much a city bred.
All right. Yes, I do know that. I do know that about you. Now, so currently you're still in Springfield, right? Can you hear me?
Correct.
It's a little delayed.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, do you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. It was just a little delayed on my end. So let people know you've been in real estate already for a very short time, but you've been putting a huge mark on your short time right now. You already have a team, right? A team of 4?
Correct. I've been in the industry for right under 5 years, about 4.5 years at this point. I have 4 team members who have been super, super active during the COVID, which has been crazy.
Awesome.
We've closed a good amount of transactions since, which has been mind-blowing considering the circumstances.
Yes. So for kind of let everybody know how within that under 5 years, you're saying already you have a team. What is it that you feel has gotten you to that level?
Just my
5 years, about
consistency.
4.5 years at this point.
Sorry about that. I took myself for some reason. I'm sorry about that. I would say it's definitely my consistency, persistence. I haven't necessarily really taken a day off in the last like 4.5 years. When we first met, I was working full time in the city.
That's right.
I was doing about 40-something hours a week in New York City. And I was also dating my ex at that point. So I was traveling out to Brooklyn whenever I wasn't working. So, just a combination of that plus work, plus the real estate business, which literally never stops. I literally haven't had a day off in about the last 4.5 years to tell you the truth, but it's been one heck of a journey.
Right. Definitely. Well, you're going to have to start taking a day off. I have a lot of some downtime now. So what have you seen from, well, first of all, let's go. What made you get into real estate? First of all, you said you worked in the city first. You were working in the city. If you want to let anybody know what you were doing first, working in the city, and then how did you make the transition wanting to get into real estate?
Well, I actually started off where I was in retail for quite a while, but prior to going into retail, I wanted to go into graphic design and marketing. I love that whole corporate atmosphere. I interned for a company called BBDO, which specialized with marketing on Pepsi, Motorola, AT&T, Gillette, Campbell's Soup, and a whole bunch of massive companies, one of the top marketing companies in the entire globe. The thing is, the biggest issue for me was the limitations. You would be working overtime, you would be working a substantial amount of hours on a regular basis. And the issue with that specifically was that, you know, the pay was very limited. I didn't want to be pigeonholed into a situation where I'm like, all right, I'm going to put in 60, 70, 80 hours. And you know how I am. I'm extremely competitive. If I get into anything, I want to be the absolute freaking best at what I do.
Yes, that is one thing about you that I do love. There's many. Yeah, true.
But you know how it is. So like for me, it was like, all right, if I'm going to try to be the absolute best at it, but I'm going to be still pigeonholed and limited. And at the same time, I'll never make more than the management. I'll never make more than the owner. So why not venture off and try to figure something else out at that point? So I ended up getting stuck in retail for a while. And I admit, you know, I was a little complacent for quite a bit. You know, I was comfortable in a 5-year relationship. And at that particular point, I was still kind of trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do. I wanted to take my graphic design background and try to take that and, you know, try to put it into an entrepreneurial setting.
Right.
But at some point, I was getting burned out when I was in the city in retail. I was just like, you know what? This is how you know. I was literally taking weeks off of vacation. We're just not going on vacation, just taking a week off from going to work, from traveling from the city, staying at home. And, you know, it started off with just tuning into HGTV. Which eventually led on to watch $1 Million in New York on Bravo during my days off. And, you know, I had it recorded on DVR at that time. And, you know, I was just watching that. Ryan Serhant and Luis Ortiz and, you know, all those guys, Frederick Eklund definitely really inspired me to take this route. So long story short, ironically, I ended up in Death Seekers 4.5 years later, which, well, what a small world it is.
Yes, very small. So go ahead, keep going, keep bringing us through the whole journey.
Okay, sorry about that. Well, eventually, you know, I went to go take my test I went to go take my class. I went to the professional school in Melbourne. You know, got my real estate license. Started off with Keller Williams, worked there for about 4 years, almost about 3.5, 4 years.
Okay.
Eventually, you know, it was a long and gritty grind, you know, and I was working full time in the city at that time still for the first year. The second year, we became friends on social media.
Yeah.
And I remember you were looking for an assistant at that time, and you know, we were talking on social media, and you know, we sat down at Barnes and Nobles, you and I and John.
Yeah, I remember right there in Springfield.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. And then we sat down, had a cup of coffee. We just hung out for a little bit, and you know, next thing you know, we were working together. I quit my job in the city, so the first house we got to do together was that property in Berkeley Heights for Amanda Nadia and Gabe Da Silva, which was a crazy house.
Yeah, that was a great house, actually. That was I love the house. That was great. Yeah, I remember leaving Barnes and Noble, and I was telling John, I was like, we both looked at each other, and we both said the same thing. He's got that go-getter mentality, that hustler mentality, just go out there and get it. And I think that really, you know, lined up with my vision, with everything. So I was just like, yeah, I like him. He's a go-getter. He's you know, you tell him exactly what direction and you do it, you execute it. And yeah, so.
Well, hard work represents, you know, recognizes each other. And, you know, I could definitely say the same goes to you. You know, I mean, we became friends because, you know, I just saw you doing live videos on a regular basis, which, you know, for those of you who don't know, you know, I might be one of the first agents in the market that's really started doing live videos on open houses. And that's because of you specifically, because, you know, I just got used to watching you do open houses. And, you know, my first open house was 15 Hemsel Court in West Orange. That was for Lucy Thompson. And that was actually crazy because the first time.
Is that the same house that we almost kind of worked on? Because that was a massive house in West Orange, or no?
No, that was a different property,
but
specifically, it wasn't my listing. It was Lucy Thompson's. She sent out an email asking, you know, for open house opportunities for new agents and everything. And usually, a lot of, you know, agents typically just shadow someone for an open house. But I was like, I don't really want to do that. You know, I've always wanted to kind of apply my own, you know, implement my own vision.
Right.
So it allowed me to really just take as soon as I had the opportunity, I was like, all right, I'm going to try to apply my marketing any way possible. So I asked Lucy, I was like, is there something I could do specifically? Is there anything I could do? Could I really just put my own input and my own vision? She allowed me to do that, which is something I'm extremely grateful for, because most agents are like, all right, you're hosting an open house for me. It's going to look like this. It's going to be like this.
Right.
It allowed me to really just customize my stuff, and really, because my background as a graphic designer, I was able to create all these marketing materials for an open house, which typically most realtors wouldn't have access to, because you would have to have a listing to be able to create these marketing materials.
Right.
So I was able to create the stuff and blast them on social media, and ever since they've been, my material has been evolving ever since, and started off being very, very loud, and now it's very, substantially more simplified. And it's just I like to see that my marketing materials that evolve with me over time itself, and it's kind of nice.
You do a great job with marketing. Honestly, you're everywhere. You're everywhere. And one of the things that I really love about you is that when you take on a listing or whatever it is, you pretty much highlight that area. I mean, Springfield is your playground. That's your backyard. But you really highlight everything from coffee shops, from shopping, whatever it is, food. You're a foodie. Like you highlight everything and let people know exactly what they need to know about that town, what's going on, the parks, the schools. I mean, I know the schools are always part of something that you always want to put together with it, but you really go to each store and highlight it, and this is the best place to eat, come eat here, or a lot of events and stuff like that. So I love that about you.
Well, the fact is that the reason why I did that specifically is I really do believe that when you support the locals, the real estate grows when you support the local businesses, because if the local businesses are succeeding, the towns are naturally going to succeed with it, and you want to be able to create that attraction for people.
Right.
Everybody likes food. I mean, not everybody. If you look on social media, this is real. Facebook specifically is very personal. It's not designed to be a business page. As a matter of fact, the Facebook algorithm itself actually downgrades the business pages in some sense itself to deprioritize that in comparison to personal feeds itself. So with that being said, I wanted to design something so this way we're not just constantly selling something to people, because when you're constantly selling, people turn you off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. That's what separates you, is that obviously you're selling certain things, but you're also being real, your real self.
Yeah, why not sell the community? I like to eat. Everybody likes to eat. If you're moving into town, what's the first thing you ask? Honey, where do we go to grab a bite to eat?
Right. So what's
the best
your
pizza
favorite
shop?
spot? What's your favorite spot to eat in what's your favorite spot to eat in whatever town? Springfield. Let's go with Springfield. Number one.
Springfield.
Number one go.
Well, we got the best bagels in the area. Bagel Supreme over here. That's legit.
Okay. But food,
I would say between that, Chaffee's is pretty good if you're looking for a great sandwich. I know John and I love Chaffee's. That's like our spot.
Shout out to Chaffee's. Okay. So what's something that you can? So with every success, with everything, with growth and everything comes struggles, right? Comes, what struggles have you come across within your years in real estate? What struggles, and what have you learned from them?
I've realized how much your personal life could really affect your business in this, in this industry, just because of the fact that, a typical 9 to 5 and everything, you're going in, checking in, everybody's kind of out just doing, just aiming for the same goal. They're all working for the same company. But the thing is, what we do specifically is all us. We're our sole proprietors. We own our business. We are in full control of everything that we do. So like, so for me personally, it was more personal, the personal downfalls that I had, essentially, probably with my first couple of years. My first year, obviously working full-time in New York City, it was very, very difficult to be a full-time realtor and be a full-time working in the city. For those of you who think that the part-time real estate agent thing works, it's very difficult unless you're on a team that's willing to really understand your circumstances. Mm-hmm. And even then, like, it's got to be the right circumstances for it to apply. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to work for people,
right?
But in my situation, it just didn't work out whatsoever. It just didn't work at all. just because of all the time that I had to commit to being in the city. Also, my second year, I ended my 5-year relationship at that point, and that was actually really difficult with just dealing with just dealing with the daily rejection, just going over the phone and just, all right, so I'm going to call someone. Just
right.
not,
It would be super hard to hear.
Exactly. You know what it was? I became substantially more self-critical for the second year. And I know I made I made some mistakes at that point just because that, I wasn't judging things the same way I would have normally judged things. If I had my head on at the right point. And also I'm a very proud person. So I'm not one of those people that's going to be out there, or I'm going to admit that this is dragging me down. I'm really just going to iron it out and fight it out and just keep on digging through as much as I could. But, at the same time, it was a drastic change for my life and everything, and, last year my grandmother passed around February, and, it was kind of one of those, it was just like, there was a lot of, it was a very roller coaster ride for the most part, but the ups and downs. And I really do feel like, over time itself, my consistency and my persistence, eventually paid off. And, back in August, back in September, we closed the most expensive house in Springfield town history, which is directly in my neighborhood and directly across the street from my parents' house. And, which was, obviously a big stepping stone for me specifically and my career. And, I know you staged that property.
Yeah, that house was amazing. Now that house was
freaking elevator.
That an elevator. That house had leopard rug upstairs, which I was like, I did not want to leave. That house was absolutely amazing. The details
backyard
on point.
You got that golf course in the backyard.
Oh my God, everything was gorgeous in that house. That house.
What I love about that, I got to work with two of my favorite people on that deal. Like I got to work with you. I got to work with Kathy Adon on that. I was so happy and so excited. I was like, wow, this is so, it's like the universe is like coming back.
I know, that was so awesome. So awesome. No, that house was awesome. That house was awesome. I'll say it over and over. I didn't want to leave that house. My God.
Shout out to Caitlin Mooney, the listing agent.
I know. Oh my God. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut off a lot. So continue. You were one part of your struggles and, and all of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, when you're dealing with it, it's kind of, at first it was a little bit difficult to kind of like just kind of weigh everything all at once and trying to balance everything. But, eventually what I realized is like, if you could, no matter what it is, what made me realize in this business, what I realized in this business specifically is that no matter what it is that, everything that we've overcome growing up, to get into the position that we're in, nothing that we do now is more difficult than that. So like, for me to say I'm going to get up early in the morning to make that phone call and make that extra call, or for me to take that extra step for my team and all stuff, nothing's more difficult than what we've already done. You know what I mean? And if we're able to overcome all that nonsense, then this is a piece of cake for me. You know what I mean? Just because, why not tackle this and try to maximize this to our best? The biggest thing for me was my ex told me that I couldn't be, I told my ex I wanted to be amongst the best of the industry. I wanted to, be a part of, I wanted to be a part of that circle, be on the same table as the top agents in this business. And, the fact that, we need to have people that around us that actually believe in us and actually support our dreams itself. And
you need positive surroundings.
Exactly. So that's why I was like, you know what, if you're not on board with what I'm trying to accomplish, then, then we're not gonna ride this wave. And on top of that, she was like, well, you know what, when let's take a break, and whenever you got your things ready and all stuff, then we'll get back together. I'm like, nah, that's not happening. You're either in it to win it or you're not.
Right. You're in it all the way or not.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How did you come about your team? Did you already know these people? How did you develop this team specifically with them? Was it just explain?
Well, the team setting is funny actually, because I originally started trying to build this team setting for a while. Like I built Unlock Your Homes about 2 years ago, and I wanted to create a brand instead of just having like the Christopher Chin real estate team, essentially. Right. Whatever. I didn't want someone to build my brand or build my name specifically.
Right, right.
So like if I was to create a brand and when it was ready to expand, the people that would be a part of it would be able to create something for themselves. They could create a name within the brand, and that's exactly what I wanted to accomplish.
Right.
Just trial and error, as you know, as you and I both know. I've hired some people. I had to fire my first couple of people before I found the right people.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of testing the waters, a lot of that going on. And a lot of people just didn't pan out the way we wanted to. At first I was just like, all right, I'm going to be a little bit more lenient. If you're a real estate agent, I'm going to give you an effort. But then, eventually you start looking for specifics. Sure. Like every relationship, I tell people all the time, when you're in a personal relationship with somebody, when you're young, you're willing to accept that people will have flaws, and you're willing to accept certain flaws that will, eventually quote unquote change just because you want them to. But eventually you realize that's not really the case at all. There's certain things that people just won't change. There's certain habits they won't adjust unless, they're put to the fire themselves, and unless it's their asses on the line.
Absolutely.
And because of that, I had to go through a couple of trials. I had to go through a couple of errors. I had to, my first team member, he no-showed an open house and everything and pretended like he was over there. So I had to fire him immediately. I was like, that's not something we can play around with.
No, absolutely not. No, that's lying. We don't like fires.
Exactly. So I got really, really lucky that I ended up selling that property, because you never know. That could have been the buyer. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
So the thing is for me is like, I took the last 4.5 years building this reputation, and I'm not going to let someone jump in my brand and try to potentially ruin it just because they're, not willing to do the basic job and just show up.
Right. Absolutely. I totally understand that, because just on this end also, we've been through a lot of different people, and it's very hard to find good working, reliable, honest people, almost with the same visions and goals and stuff like that. So I totally understand. It's very hard to find a team that really supports your vision and wants to, grow with you.
I'm very lucky. I got to hit that. I got to hit momentum I got to hit a lot of momentum last year, towards the very end. And, as soon as I got to hit that wave, I was closing things, I was still closing properties and everything, but, I really started expanding, and my clip started just firing, nonstop since September. And because of that, once that happened and everything, I was able to build something incredible. Albert, Brittany, Sally, they're absolutely incredible workers. They're constantly on the grind. Albert's constantly out right now. He's constantly showing properties.
Yeah, I see you guys all the time.
We're not stopping. And I'm very, very happy to have people that are extremely committed. That's what you need. You need
exactly what you need. I totally agree. What is something that you're seeing right now during this whole craziness? What is your take on it right now? What do you see? Do you see that we're like moving and grooving towards what's your take on it? I know a lot of people are having a different.
People that are buying are still buying. Showing properties, and depending on the circumstances, is a little bit more difficult. We definitely have more buyers in inventory right now, which is definitely a case. Rates are super low. We just got someone approved for under 3.5 recently, and under 3.3. And so like rates are definitely on the low side right now. We hit all-time lows recently. So shout out to Kathy Haddad for hooking up one of our clients with that.
Shout out, girl.
But we've closed. We're working on almost 6 transactions right now since March. So considering the fact that what's happening, we're 7 transactions right now, considering what's going on. It hasn't stopped. People that want to sell their properties, especially investors right now, they want to unload their properties because they're because of the unpredictability of what's going to happen in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's really, really dependent on what kind of occupation you're in right now. And at the same time, I think the world's going to eventually adjust.
I think we're slowly adjusting. I see light. I see light. I definitely, I think obviously in the first, when this kind of all started, things were kind of like a little still because no one was really, and we still are not really aware, but I think it was more people didn't know what to expect at that point. But I see it slowly opening up and moving.
Yeah, I know Governor Murphy recently said something about reopening non-essential businesses with curbside and pickup options.
Which is great.
So it's a start, you know. I mean, it's definitely a start. I think our market is going to pick up a lot, just because of the fact that I think the New York market is going to shift.
Too.
There's going to be a lot of people moving out of the cities because if you think about it like this, they're not going to want to be in, you know, apartments next to neck to each other and on top of each other, just because
commuting.
Exactly, they would like to live in social distancing if they could.
Tourists. New York, you have everybody there from everywhere traveling, coming in, so it's going to be definitely a huge adjustment. And
you know, I never get sick, but when I was working in the city, I used to get sick all the time. It was mad. I was so mad about that. Like every other week or every other month, I used to get summer colds, like really, really bad summer colds, and those were the worst.
I know. I'm that way too. I don't get sick. I don't get sick. If I do, I would get summer colds also. And they suck because it's so nice out and you're freaking sick. Yeah. So John is on. He says, haha, wow, I remember that. So I guess he's talking about chofis or choffies. He has a question. That's kind of like an end question. We're not even there yet. But what does the future hold for Chris Chin? That's what John is asking.
Well, I'm always looking
at your future like.
Well, I'm always looking to grow, and you know, being a city brand itself, and you know, I do want to be a part of that New York market as well as New Jersey. My strength is definitely in the marketing game, and obviously my knowledge in real estate, and you know, my connected, you know, my ability to connect with people and everything. I love just building relationships and just do whatever it is. I'm actually working directly with the Nest Seekers International CEO, just planning on how to strategize. How to just educate the New York City market on, you know, the benefits of New Jersey and why New Jersey, you know, because example, you're living in Queens all the way out in Flushing or Brooklyn, all the way out in Bay Ridge or, you know, Coney Island, etc. The travel that you're taking, you know, the commute time, it's pretty much exactly the same, which you would be doing something like Summit, Springfield, Union. Right. Any one of these markets around here, you know, I mean, you can literally drive, you know, Elizabeth, you could literally drive right into Staten Island.
Oh, easily.
So like so that's basically what it is. You know, I just don't think, you know, the New York City market just needs to be a little bit more educated about the benefits of New Jersey, getting more property size and more property space and be able to have legitimate social distancing practices in their properties. So that's pretty important these days.
What is your team doing taking the proper precautions with all of this? How are you preparing, or how do you prepare?
We will go into the properties a lot. We have gloves, masks, etc. You know, the whole 9 yards. Hand sanitizer on deck. Thank you, Priska Lee from Clear Skies Title for constantly loading us up with hand sanitizer. We also have, you know, once again, face mask, and whatever we need, you know, and when we go into the properties, we'll schedule the appointments accordingly. There are a couple of COVID-19 flyers and forms that are going out right now that people, you know, would have to sign in certain properties. But we go in, we, you know, wipe down the door handles with some alcohol, sanitizer wipe before we open the door, go in, you know, go preview the properties for ourselves, turn the lights on, let the client, you know, we'll leave, let the client walk in, we'll walk back out, you know, wait for them to walk back out, then we'll go back in, shut everything off, and repeat the routine.
Wow, that's great. That's good. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what we're going to have to be doing.
It's a process, unfortunately, and you know, for those of you who don't think this is a serious thing that's going on here, who aren't practicing social distancing, I know a lot of people that have been directly affected. A friend of mine who's a fellow realtor in New York City, she's been in the hospital. She was in the hospital. She still, you know, just being watched over and just under quarantine. And just a whole bunch of people. I know someone in Kenilworth just passed away recently, under 30 years old. No pre-existing health condition.
That's what I'm talking. I have a good best friend of mine. She works in the healthcare. Well, a few people who work in the healthcare field, and they say, you know, it's very serious. Make sure, like this morning, I worked out, mask, gloves, everything. There were a ton of people who weren't wearing their proper things, but I think we definitely need to make sure we're taking all the proper precautions and social distancing and everything like that. You know, normally we're on a stage of ours. We are more than social distancing right now.
Well, we're really lucky right now because New York City is like right now they're completely shut down. They can't even PA, same thing. They can't show properties at all right now. So we're very lucky. As long as we constantly are practicing the right social distancing practices, and also we just got to do what we got to do the right. As long as we're doing it the right way, do everything the right way, because that's what it is. Obviously we got to make our money. We got to hustle and do what we got to do, but at the same time, nothing's really worth our health and risking that.
And guys, I saw that we're opening Memorial Day weekend for the beach. Don't ruin it for everybody, guys. Please don't. I mean, I'm not going, but if you are gonna go, anybody who's gonna go to the Jersey Shore, social distance and just don't ruin it. That's the thing. They give you an inch, and then people just take a mile and just ruin it. So.
Yeah, right now I think we should just be focused with reopening the businesses and just trying to just maintain the businesses in that sense. But outside of that, I wouldn't. I don't feel comfortable. I stopped going. I'm one of the first agents to shut down open houses because I was like, as soon as New York started getting hit really badly, it's just obvious that we're going to get hit too, just because we're neck to neck with New York. And ironically, we were the number two state with the most cases in the entire country. We beat out California, guys.
I know.
A long shot.
Oh my God.
It's a lot bigger than us.
Yeah, I know. But thankfully, I mean, thankfully that we have a lot of good people who are in the industry who is practicing. I think a lot of people are definitely practicing social distancing, making sure they have everything that they need with them, the gloves, mask, everything, wiping everything down. So as long as we continue to do that, we're on a very good path.
With that being said, I want to give a huge shout out to Dr. Frank Dos Santos. He's the guy I interviewed on the first interview, on my first interview a month earlier. He is working in the East Orange Hospital as one of the frontline ER physicians. His partner was actually the first ER physician to pass away from the COVID-19 in his partner's arms in the middle of the night. So I want to give him a huge shout out, and he's been doing some incredible work. He's working nonstop, and he's also a life coach as well. So
wow,
still want to be dedicating that much time out with the family and everything. Just want to give him a big
thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor, for protecting your
doctor, saving our lives, frontliners. So. Social media too, marketing your social media and marketing. You're a little Tasmanian devil with it, okay? You are amazing with it. I mean, sometimes I will text you, I'll call you, and I'll tell you, how do you do this? What are you saying with certain things, but you're very, very smart in that in many areas, but that area you're very good in social media. What is something that what's a tip or something that you would suggest for other agents or something like that to utilize with their social media, for instance?
I mean, you definitely got to be out there. Social media is a free platform for us to really just showcase what we're able to do. Like you have an open house, right? So I know a lot of agents I've personally spoken to. They're like, all right, I don't want to host an open house because the house has been on the market for X amount of time, right? So they're not going to gain traction. Blah 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 blah. Here's the reality of it, though. What I've grown to learn is that here's the thing, right? Even if people aren't walking directly in the door, the people that are watching you on social media, that's your audience also.
That's right.
Those are legitimate guests to whatever tour you're doing. They're taking the time out of their day to watch your video. You know what I mean? So if you're literally just going to go to an open house or go to a listing and literally just sit there, just walk there and literally just sit there and scratching your thumbs and just whatever, right? What's the point? You might as well just stay at that point, because right. There's more to it. Even when there's, I have a routine whenever I'm hosting an open house. I like to show up a little bit early, just quickly do one of those live videos, just because I want to get the attention of the people on my feed, so they can see what's going on here. One of the things I've learned recently is that right before you do a live videos actually prioritize the algorithm of social media. So that's why whenever you're doing a live video, it's always showing on people's thing. It's like the first thing that pops up, especially if people are following you on a regular basis. So whenever you're doing a video, it's always popping up on my notification saying, Michelina's live here. Michelina's doing this, and the biggest thing to do is I like to comment on 8 different people's posts just to prior to doing a video, because then it prioritizes your video, prioritizes your post through their feeds as well. That's so I tell my team on a regular basis, on a daily basis, make sure you check in with your events and just do a happy birthday greeting to everybody on your list. It takes literally a second to do it.
Right.
Just rip through it real quickly because it's going to benefit your whatever post that we're going to do in the future. So if you're going to post something about this house that you're going to look at, now all those people that you commented on,
right,
see this.
Right, or you're in a specific area that they're looking for. That's my thing with, and I'm not saying anything bad about all agents, but I'm saying I think that you need to go 100 with all your listings. Whether that was my chair, by the way. I don't know if you guys heard that. Sound weird, but absolutely. Even in times like this right now, if I have a listing or if you have a listing, go live on your listing. Go live and show it and share it on Facebook. And you never know who's targeting that area, who has a buyer in that area or anything like that. So I think that a lot of more agents should be doing that. I don't see a lot of I do see a good chunk of it, but there's some other agents that just really don't utilize social media.
When you're limited in one position, that you got to take advantage of the other. That means you got to take that limitation and push it into another side. So if I'm not able to market and do open houses, now what do I do with that energy? Now, how do I take that Sunday? What I'm typically doing on Sunday now is I have my Matterports. So I've been really implementing the Matterports for all of my listings. So this way, we don't have to always go to the property and do a live.
Right. Your Matterport, post it on your Facebook. Let them walk through the house virtually.
Yeah. So if you're one of the people like, I don't want to be out there right now because of the whole germ, which is understandable. None of us could tell you that, all right, so how to handle yourself when it comes to the pandemic and when it comes to health. But the one thing you definitely could do is implement a Matterport, because the thing is, if you can't physically be at the property and show it off, and somebody reaches out to you and wants to take a look at the property, all I got to do is just give you a link. And here's the thing, right? If they absolutely love the property from the link that you just gave them, the legitimacy of their buying power has just increased substantially, because now that if they want to go take a look at the property after they looked at their Matterport, after they looked at all your marketing materials and all the stuff that you have for the property, it's probably worth taking that trip then, because now they're serious. They're legitimate buyers.
Right.
They want to make a move, and if they're not making a move on this property, now you have a chance to potentially take them over and ship them over to another property.
Absolutely. If you're not utilizing social media in any way in your business, being a real estate agent or whatever, but we're talking real estate, I think it's dumb. I think
very well to this. I want to give her a shout out to her as well from the KW Philly market. She created the Viral VR, which is that whole photography company that she has. So she's really implementing that whole business itself, and she's doing an incredible job with that. She's been doing a lot of my work lately when it comes to a lot of my properties, and it's been really successful.
Yeah, I think whether there's people who are not comfortable with the camera, right? And so listen, if you're not going to do a live, which you should be, it's literally you, the camera, and just do a walkthrough, whatever. If you're not comfortable with doing that, you, like we said, you have the Matterport. Drop it on your Facebook, let them explore photos, whatever it is. But I think definitely, sorry, I had a phone call. Definitely need to utilize it. We should see more of it. That's all.
At the bare minimum, you should have a post. You should be posting.
Yeah, definitely. Post.
I've seen a lot of agents have gone, very stagnant during the time. Also, if you have listings and you have photos, why not just post them? Why not blast them? You never know. Now's a good time to be a part of your communities and join these social media groups and everything. I'm not saying to spam and blast your advertisements and your posts and all that, but at the same time, get involved. And this way, you find someone with, who might be looking for something that you have. Here's your opportunity now. This is an incredible opportunity for everyone, because the thing is, the way I feel about this market right now and the way things are, and when things are, shift back to the way it was or start going back to normal, the people that have been marketing online are going to be very strong in this business, because they're going to adjust, they're going to adapt, and they're only going to get better at what they do. But the people who have not adapted to the online marketing, who refuse to be on social media to this day, and also they're honestly just going to be the unfortunate people that just die on the business, just like the people that are not willing to adapt, the elderly that are not willing to adapt into this business, because
I agree.
Where we are now,
Right.
we're no longer handed lists of homes and people. You got to keep in mind the people that go take a look at properties these days, they know what the property looks like before they walk in, back in comparison to the 90s. In the 90s, they have no idea what the property looks at until you actually take them to the property.
Right.
Now they've done their research beforehand, and people are selling their properties. They want someone that's active online. I've had people literally ask me, "Are you online? What's your social media presence?"
Yeah.
And
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. No, you definitely are. You definitely are. We got Stephanie on. We got Sean's team. We got Diane Rivera. Hey, girl. Hey, people. Douglas, Casey, John. We have a lot of people on. What's up, everybody? If you guys have any questions for Chris, I'm loving the hearts. If you guys have any questions for Chris, drop a comment, drop a question or anything you wanna curse him off. Just kidding.
Yeah, I take those too.
Just kidding. So yeah, so I like. Go ahead. What were you saying?
We all have a few of those.
Yeah. Little curse off moments. Yeah, I love it. Love the love, guys. Let us know you're here. So yeah, so another thing I like to, we talk about real estate and everything like that, but then I like to like kind of sidestep. Who is somebody that you idolize? Who's an idol aside from family? Because we can all say, my mother, my father, I love you, my sister. Who's an idol, a friend or whoever? Who's an idol to you and why? Love the sneakers.
Everyone knows I've been, I'm a really, really, really big time Kobe Bryant fan, and just seeing that whole perseverance aspect of things and all stuff. That was always a big thing for me. So rest in peace to Kobe Bryant, obviously, but that work ethic and everything is just absolutely insane. And just seeing the underdog achieve is something has always been big to me, just because like I grew up as the 1% of Asian Americans in the entire town of Springfield. And, I've had, the other kids in my town, they either adjusted or adapted to how everyone, to everyone else, or, me specifically, I kind of always stayed a little bit more on the outside specifically, and a little bit more of an outcast. Which I'm okay with. I'm actually pretty happy with, because, obviously it turned out pretty okay. So
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
But just being that underdog story itself, being 12th pick, traded, never, they told him that he couldn't win a championship without Shaq, or just little things like that. I have, just people like that specifically, just watching hard work ethic, people with really, really driven work ethic specifically. I am a really big fan of David Goggins right now. The whole, his whole military approach with, being that guy that everyone hated on, and then eventually just being the most badass Navy SEALs of all time.
What's his name again?
David Goggins.
David Goggins. Okay, cool. I'll look him up.
He's a public speaker, inspirational speaker now. But he's a badass. Just his whole work ethic and everything is just madness. Ryan Serhant was pretty big. Just watching Ryan Serhant for $1 Million Listing. I wouldn't be a realtor if I didn't see $1 Million Listing, and just watching the way Ryan Serhant moved. So being able to hang out with him on a couple of months back for a couple of events and everything, it was just pretty.
Wow. So how was that? What was that like?
Ryan's a good guy. We got to go take a look at a couple of properties that he's showcasing in Chelsea, and another property that he was showcasing. I went out to Long Island City a while ago, right before the pandemic with him, to go take a look at that some property that his developer has out there. I actually managed to build a relationship with the developer of that property, who actually lives in New Jersey. Wow. So hopefully we have some listings coming soon.
Nice. Stephanie has a question. She said, question, what's the current trend right now? Oh, also David Goggins, he curses a lot. I think I'm gonna like him then.
You would like him a lot. He definitely curses quite a bit.
I like that. So what her question is, what's the trend?
If you're talking about in regards to real estate, then I mean, definitely online marketing is definitely the trend right now. Where we really can't do much else besides that. So, online marketing, I think is going to transition to be the biggest thing. Even after the pandemic is over, because people are still going to be more hesitant with being, within close distances to each other until like we have a definitive cure to this. But even still, after we have a cure, I think people are still going to be a little bit more precautious about certain things. You know what I mean?
I
Just
think so.
I think the movie industry is going to be in a lot of trouble right now, just because who's going to want to go to AMC and sit, after the last person next to another person.
Yeah. I don't really go to I mean, I love the movies. I'll go if I really, really want to see a movie, but that's like once a year. Actually, we have a thing, my husband and I, we go every Thanksgiving. We don't do anything else but the movies. We don't go anywhere. We just go to the movies. I don't know about this year, but but I was just saying this too. I was saying that, for a while, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, for me, everybody has their own new normal that is going to be, right? For me, I'm only speaking for myself. I know that I'm not going to be going out to eat as much like that, just because, certain places, I mean, I think I might do a pick up and go, or I won't, for a while. Drinks and all that stuff, I think I'm gonna kind of be low pro with that. But we do have another question from Stephanie. She says, do you see many New York peeps?
We have been, actually. New York City people are moving in, just once again because the fact that they're probably not wanting, they don't want to be neck to neck to each other. They're looking for a little bit more property space. And, that's been a huge thing for us. A big part of my showings have been, New York City based people as well. I believe the person that we're under contract for and kind of work right now might be in New York City. I'm not 100% sure. But especially in a markets like Summit, in Summit, the New York City market is very, very aggressive with that. And they've been coming down for sure. And they've been making a lot of calls. I actually have a big buyer looking in Jersey City and Hoboken right now.
What do you think with everything going on, like this, in terms of the city? The city is very expensive to live in.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see, or do you think that it might, like, the market might come down a little bit in price in the city?
Well, I think so, because the fact of the matter is, a big part of the city is owned by the Asian market. And the Asian market is taking the biggest hit right now in comparison to anybody else, because, especially China with the whole COVID situation. And right. China has, China has a big part of, they own a big chunk of, the New York City market itself, just the investors and people, the rich people in China, they invest in New York. Right. Same with Japan. The problem is, if the money starts drying out in those markets because of what it is, because of the pandemic, then naturally people are going to start shifting and people are going to start moving. So, will they start buying in New Jersey? That's a possibility. It's a very, very strong possibility.
Right. I think so. If that was to happen and prices drop, I might be in New York. No, I want to be in California.
I love New York. I love New York. I love being around like great food and stuff. But the problem is, like, I like having my space. I love the backyard. I love being able to take my dog out on a private walk and not having to, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean, just walk neck to neck to people.
I love New York too. But we do a lot of properties close to the city, some in the city, and even though it's all gorgeous, right? To actually live in the city and to do all that walking up and down those flight of stairs. Some places don't have elevators, or some even with an elevator. Imagine going shopping, parking in the car garage, lugging all the stuff, going up there, whatever. So it can be it's nice, but I don't think living wise, I don't think I would want to do it.
I couldn't do it for myself. I get it. You know what it is? It makes sense for one of those people it really makes sense for someone who's doing really good, like, who has a great 9-to-5 job, for me personally.
Of course, who has a nanny, who has a housekeeper, who could do all that for you, and all I have to do is open the knob and go in. Yeah, I'm fine. I'll be in the city all day.
Oh yeah. But like, nah, I'm not really down
I'm
for
not
that.
going, Stephanie.
You know what it is? Like, I'm a very socialized, I like to socialize and everything, but like at the same time, like there's something that some nostalgia to just being able to take a step out of your house and be able to grab that, quote unquote newspaper from the front of your driveway with just peace and quiet, to me, that I find to be, true serenity. Because the fact is, like, with New York, you can't do that. You're walking down to New York, as soon as you walk out of your unit, you're surrounded by people. You know what I'm saying? It's not even walking out of your apartment. As soon as you walk out of your unit, you got someone next to you. And for me, it's like I like having that moment when I first wake up and first get out of my house, to have that little piece of moment to really just gather the fresh air to myself.
Yeah.
And just
I agree. I mean, I live all the way in Morris County, and I'm in little countryness, and it's nice. I mean, it's nice, but it is peaceful, I would have to say. It's very relaxing and very peaceful. But yeah. So another question. Hold on one second. Good point. People are loving all right. Hey, interesting. People are loving it. So I know that you said that you had a big announcement to make.
I am expanding into New York City. I am currently working on my New York City license. So
that's awesome. That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll be with you there.
Big move. So NetSecrets has really given me the anchor to do so. I've prior to the pandemic, I was working in the New York City office for a little bit, and just trying to. I'm one of those people that really like to switch home environments every once in a while, just because I like to feel the different energy, and I really think different energy levels really affect you in different ways.
Absolutely.
So I went to the New York City office itself and just started working in front of Eddie Shapiro, our CEO, working by Ryan Serhan's office, and working with all these top producers. I met a guy named Sean Elliott, who is one of the top agents in the entire country. He is currently the listing agent for the most expensive home ever in the entire nation. I think it's like $200-something million or something like that in California.
Oh, I was going to say, where in California? Oh, California.
Yeah. Well, that house is maddening. But just getting to know someone like that has been really, really beneficial to me, just because like just having that connection, and it's really, really, really helped me just, increase my vision and just really want to take my dreams to the next level. And, I figured if I'm traveling all the way down to Bridgewater and in East Bumble, whatever, I might as well go to New
York. Yeah, I love that. That's exciting. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your future. You are amazing. I love you. You have a good soul, a good heart, good energy, good vibes, positive vibes. You love to see everybody around you do well. You're not a greedy person. Just kidding.
This is a community business. I've always said it, that this business functions better as when we function as a community. All right, so Joe Smith and Jane Smith might work at a completely different brokerage than me, but at the same time, like, we're just like doctors in a sense. You might have a friend that's a doctor. You might be really good friends with him. He might be your best friend, and you might absolutely love him. Matter of fact, he could be your lover, right? Or she could be your lover, whatever it is, right? But as soon as you have to go see her or him for that specific purpose, you absolutely can't stand them. You know what I mean? And the fact is, like, if anybody could get away with selling a property, right, and not having to pay a commission, or not having to do this and not having to do that, why wouldn't they, right? So the fact is, we got to be servants to our community, and that's really, really important, because the fact is, if we all work together, then the community is more welcoming to us. So if someone from a completely ABC brokerage, stuff, and commits a bad deed, it looks bad for all of us. So we might as well work together. We might as well work in sync. And as long as we all have great relationships with each other, then the entire community is going to continue to serve us with their business.
Absolutely. Teamwork. I love it. Everybody is loving your announcement. They are loving this interview podcast. People are saying congratulations. I don't know if you can see them on your side. I know for a while before I wasn't able to see comments, but I'm seeing some comments here and some on my phone. And a lot of hearts, a lot of loves and everything like that.
Well, expansion always and always.
That's right. I'm excited for your future. I'm so excited. I'm glad to call you my friend. People are still logging on. Cool. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being an amazing friend, real estate agent, and crushing it and demanding and everything like that.
We need to switch the roles next time.
I'm sorry?
We need to switch the roles soon.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we will. So another thing that we're adding, I know we do shoe cam in the beginning, and then I'm kind of adding this little, my favorite go-to things. It'll change every time. We already did shoe cam. If you guys missed it, this is what I would be rocking with this outfit. But just two other things that I'm currently loving. Just going to share with you guys. These guys, I love it. I drink it every single day before my workout because I've been with this COVID. I don't know what you've been picking up for yourself, an extra hobby or something like that. Me, it's been working out. Steph, you're my workout girl. Stephanie is my workout girl. We hold each other accountable every single day. We'll tag each other and say, you know, our workout crew. You know, she sends me videos of different workouts. I'll send her videos. But we are always encouraging. So I love you, girl. But I did want to share with you guys. I take these guys. These are ketones. I take them every day before my workout. They give me energy. They curb my appetite. I've seen, you know, myself lose weight. I'm not going to share my numbers. But anyway, I love these. If you guys want to get more information, message me afterwards and I'll let you know about that. Love that. Want to share that. Another thing with COVID, people like to read. You know, I like to read audiobooks, right? I have a little bit of ADD, so I love Audible. Yeah, I have to do an audiobook, but not everybody's like that. Some people actually like a book. So one of the books that I'm gonna plug here is actually she's my best friend who wrote this book, Valentina. I don't know, you guys probably seen. You guys seen we had the event and everything like that. This is a great book, a great read. I'll put all the information on here. You can purchase it on Amazon, Arthur House Publishing. But this is definitely a great read. It's not super long, not super short. You can give this to a gift or whatever. But during these times, you can definitely, read it. It's a great, great read for real. And I'm feeling my lip gloss. So this is from I wanted to share with you guys. This is from CVS, I believe. No, it's
working out. Meanwhile, this bag of Cheetos behind me.
Cheetos. Actually, I'm lying. It's from Ulta. It's NYX or whatever, or NYX. I'm sorry. Glitter goals, and I'm loving. So I wanted to share with my ladies. Do you guys love? I don't know, but I wanted to share that with you guys. Stephanie, my daughter, is reading it now. Great for teens and young adults. I love that. Yep. Stephanie purchased the book, so this is a great, great book. Yes, John, he actually read the book as well, my husband. So it's a great book, guys. It's really good it's called Finding Your Worth in the Middle of a Broken Heart, Valentina Richardson. So get your copy. And so before we sign off, what's one thing that you've picked up during COVID? Sign off. What's one
thing? I mean, I've been reading I started reading Sell It Like Sirhan for Ryan Sirhan. I started reading Dale a little bit more aggressively. And also the 10X rule is always a go-to whenever we're just trying to, just need a refresh. The 10X rule is awesome by Grant Cardone.
Awesome. And is there anything that besides a book or anything, is there anything that you've picked up that you've learned new about yourself?
Well, not necessarily, but I do have one thing I do want people to get into. If you guys have not checked out my website yet, the unlockajhomes.com, I do have a new magazine that we do. I kind of haven't done May yet, but we've done one for April where we were talking about local businesses.
Nice.
I gave a to Chaffee's Pizzeria and Boxwood Coffee because they're doing incredible work for the community right now, servicing and bringing in coffee and food to the hospitals and the local frontline workers, and just really doing an incredible job with servicing them on a daily basis. I know right now Boxwood Coffee is doing donations, so if you guys want to donate to them, which directly contributes to the hospitals, they're giving away coffee and lunches and stuff.
I love that.
check them out. My magazine has their details on there as well. So a lot of great things happening here. Outside of that,
that's
nothing else.
awesome. And I just want to piggyback on that too, that I don't know if you guys probably seen some of my posts on Instagram, is Bella Napoli's. I love them. They're located in Bloomfield also. We've been going there for many years. We've had parties there. We had the book event there and everything. And they're doing amazing work for their community, also giving back to the hospitals. And you can even purchase a shirt, and all the money from the shirts go to helping families locally. I was there yesterday. I bought my shirt and some food for the team and stuff like that. So definitely Bella Napoli's. If you're in Bloomfield, check them out. They're on Broad Street in Bloomfield. So they're amazing. I love them. We have one quick question. Stephanie, what is the 10X rule? That's a book, but is there like, can you kind of sum it?
It's just really about mindset and just kind of understanding. The biggest one for me was just understanding, and just understanding the atmosphere of people in regards to, never really saying no to people in this business, and just really more understanding. Example, if you were to tell me right now that, obviously to most of us right now it's pretty warm outside, but if you were to tell me, hey, it's cold outside, right? Who am I to disagree with you? So, and the same rule kind of applies to a lot, in regards to sales. If someone tells me I think that house is overpriced, or I think the house is underpriced, or I don't think the house is, as good, or is this worth as much as we have it listed, or whatever it is, it's really a matter of opinion, and there's no way for me to tell you that this is what it is. So it's all about meeting of minds, and that's where it gets down to, removing the negativity from the get-go makes things so much easier in the long run.
Okay, awesome. I love that. Personal pizza. Yeah, I believe personal pizza. That's so good. Personal pizza is so good. Well, actually, Bella Napoli's also has they have a carnival, like a truck thing that they're making Zaples cheesesteaks outside where you can pick up and stuff like that too. I know it's so cool. So like you can go there, purchase stuff, and then you can make your order for pickups for like the stuff that they have in the restaurant and stuff like that. They have trays, everything. So
guys, also Instacart's working too. I don't know if you've been using that or not, but Instacart's freaking amazing.
What is it?
Instacart. It's an app on your phone, and it's kind of like a DoorDash and like Uber Eats kind of idea, except it's for your groceries.
Oh, well, I'm picking my groceries. I have to.
Well, vegetables, I get it, but certain things, I'm like, all right, with that, I got it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So. I love that. So I'm so happy that you were on. I think we touched on a lot of good stuff, a lot of good shares and stuff like that. Everybody, thank you for logging on. Our next guest that we're going to be having at the, I forgot the date, don't kill me, is actually Stephanie Zecca. We're going to be having her at the end of the month. I'm so excited. Another favorite person of mine. I love her. She's, Chris, she's amazing.
Definitely. I freaking love Stephanie. Stephanie is awesome.
Stephanie is awesome. We love her. And we're going to have her, I believe, on the 25th, 28th. I got to look again, but we're going to have her on. It's going to be a good time. So if you guys loved this podcast, share it, heart us. And I think that's it. Thank you for being on. Love you, Chris. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe and strapped. And yeah. I'm gonna see how we're
Love you all, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Quick, how can people really quick before we leave? How can people find you on Instagram, and obviously on Facebook? You're under Christopher Trim on Unlock NJ Homes. Instagram. How can people find you?
Sure. Instagram is Unlock NJ Homes.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right. We'll post all that up there. But all right, Chris, I'm gonna leave the studio now. Thank you for being on.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.